Whoa, it's the illusion. Reporting from somewhere on spaceship Earth. It's Monday. It's Monday here on at Talon's Out Ranch. I got an outbreak of these beetles on my squash and melons and stuff, and I'm going with the gratefulness to have the struggle, and so I've been attacking them pretty heavily with the neem oil, with my sprayer, and we'll see how it goes. I just didn't know what that's where you need a village, right? I remember seeing these beetles like early on. They're those like gray ones that kind of have a little bit of orange outline, and just not noticing it because I had it was like one or two, and man, they were busy beetles, busy. So I probably missed the opportunity to get them early. And I was listening to someone was in one of my comments was talking about the permaculture thing and dialed in. And again, it's when you need a village, dude, as an outlier here, kind of on my own, which makes it a little bit difficult. But we learn, where I've won one war, against the rabbits and the little hoppy creatures. I haven't. A new battle has arisen, a new learning thing. So maybe my son will have this dialed in. But yeah, I've been trying to get there's some ladybugs out there, but just not enough to eat up the little eggs underneath the leaves. That's what really is the beetles will eat the leaves, but it's all the little eggs underneath that wilt the leaves and cause them to curl, and because they're getting all their juices sucked out of them by the little eggers. But anyway, it's anyone catch Lee Zeldin the other day? Those of us who have been calling out the upper atmosphere aerosol injection have been correct the whole time. Sulfur. Lots of sulfur they've been spraying up there. But alas, that's the emperor with no clothes handing out loincloths. You know what I mean? Like, whatever. Sure, it is. I will give it. It is an awfully blue day today. But I think I'm gonna try to do one of my little modern videos on that, with him actually speaking. I was listening to Bill Gates speak about something the other day, coordinating of a bunch of companies to get a bunch of things going. The Bill Gates hustle, the faux humanitarian, the eugenicist himself. And as I was out here working on the garden the last couple of days, trying to get this bug infestation under control, you get it, you start to think about these things. And I was back it up for a minute. So the other day we went and did our family outing day, and the goats had showed where they had a little hole in the fence because they were out being mischief makers. And so now I'm redoubling my fence out there to shut down their newly found path. And it's sort of like that, they showed their hand, and now I'm sealing up the hole. And I think that the Bill Gates of the world and the eugenicists are sort of like that. You know, they've published exactly what they're up to. It's like the upper atmosphere aerosol injection. I mean, that was all in white papers. Everything they do is published. That's the interesting thing no one seems to understand, is everything they do is published. They tell you exactly what they're doing and why they're doing it and how they're going to do it. And, you know, call it a conspiracy theory, be apathetic, whatever it is, right? So I was thinking about these Bill Gates types and their eugenicist ideas. And I was like, you know what? The people who say they're afraid of these types really aren't doing a good job to disprove their need to do what they're doing. And you know, I've been struggling lately with this whole thing because I kind of come around the corner to be an optimistic about the human endeavor, and I think I've hit a weird wall where I'm like, I don't think the humans are going to get their act together. And so you bump into this thing where you go, how crazy is this dude? I mean, they're crazy people, because you think they would spend their time, instead of figuring out how to get rid of the human beings for their weird ego-driven pseudo-god reality, you think they would be like, you know, let's motivate the humans to do this stuff. You know, because it's interesting, you know, because the eugenicists are the ones that are in charge of the food supply and the medical system and the injectables and the upper atmosphere aerosol injection and all these measures. And they could just be interdimensional demons puppeteering, and they really aren't trying to help out Spaceship Earth, which is their fake reality. So I struggle with the concept of our life-saving ecosystems, you know, clean watersheds and the biodiversity, and I am a like use it, don't lose it kind of guy. But I've realized that the humans aren't making a case for themselves. And so I go, well, okay, if it's all propaganda, right? But your average human kind of knows what's going on, and yet they're still gonna go get in line and buy their products, which are gonna poison them. They're still gonna pick up these devices, which we know are gonna harm us. We're still gonna send I'm general because most of these things I don't try not to do. We're still gonna send our kids to the public educational institutions. We're still gonna believe that internal gas combustion engines are not archaic. And yet we know that, like, it's like that weird thing of you know how people are passing around the thing about how much foreign farmland is owned by the likes of Bill Gates or China, and that this should be illegal and all this and stuff. Well, why do people care about that? Well, they claim it's, you know, they're going to take over the food supply. You know, there's a big thing if you kind of, you know, about the cattle ranchers and taking over the food supply, and they're gonna make it so you can't have chickens and this, and they're attacking the Amish, and, you know, the whole milk thing. So like, well, if they're doing all this and that's what they're doing, like, why are we making such a poor showing at this stage of the game about it? Like, that's where, like, this weird, you really do see that you know, the controlled opposition. You know, what is Trump? Trump is like controlled opposition to get a bunch of people who could actually take charge of reality, you know, one person at a time in their hula hoop and expand their hula hoops and all this stuff, to wait around and think, you know, that the troops, you know, I see the right wingers celebrating, you know, the troops in the streets. And it's funny, like how, like, you know, 5 years ago they were like, oh my God, this is illegal, they're hassling people for stupid stuff. And it's like, yeah, now it serves your pseudo agenda, and you're like fully cool with the military in the street, but that's how they do it, right? Like, oh, it's about immigration and violence that's been, or, you know, all the homelessness and stuff. And that's what I'm getting at, is all these things come from this thing that I'm talking about. Is it starts at home. Look, I mean, I struggle as a dad and a husband. You know, I am a far cry from what it is I need to be, but I'm hyper aware that this is where the battle is. And I really have, like, looked at the people and just been like, they don't want to save themselves. You know, I'm in a conservative community. I'm a member of a church. They don't really seem to want to save themselves, man. It's the wait around for God thing, instead of act as if Jesus is coming back thing, you know? That's what I've always tripped on, you know, Trump from the beginning. It was like this, like, oh, Trump's gonna solve the thing, and you had to act as if, like, that's where I, you know, as delusional as this is gonna sound crazy delusional, I did, in all my optimism, think that on January 21st, everybody who voted for the Orange Man, we're all gonna walk out into their yards and into their neighborhoods and clean it up, man. Clean up the mess. Clean up the thing, right? Like, take ownership of it all, and do it with this divinely loving hand of understanding. Do unto your brothers as you would have them do unto you. And it didn't. The trash is still everywhere. The yards are still messy. Cheap beer sales are as high as ever. People are still laying in the street pooping in their pants. You know, the whole thing's still going on full tilt. And I don't know, man. I sit there and I look at it and I go, you know, Al and I are studying the right when they're having the first Continental Congress and the second Continental Congress, and I really do think that that somewhere in the thing, the devil, you know, it's sort of like, you know, like the Battle of Job, right? It's like Job, but it's kind of the opposite. It's like the devil's like, okay, I'm, instead of like torturing Job and like doing all this stuff to Job to see if he'll deny God, how about I do the exact opposite? How about I give him all the freedoms, all the blessings, all the pathways forward, and we've taken all that and turned our back on God. And I think you can see it in our, like, in our environments we inhabit, the thrashing of the nature. You know, you listen to these supposed Christians who just need to go in and destroy everything with their ATVs, dude, out in the wild. Just have no understanding of the balance. And I'm not opposed to anything really anymore, but it's standing up in a mountaintop stream and looking at a cow standing in that stream, pooping in the water, and just going, this is the imbalance, right? The water's precious, so is the cow and the farmer and the whole thing. It's like, it's just this weird thing. So we were given all the freedom to be taken over. It's by voluntary, right? Like a voluntary submission. I think that's really what's going on. Is the gatekeepers and the eugenicists and the controllers have looked at us and been like, look, you have all of the power on your side. You have God, you have the freedom to practice God, and we have to publish everything we're doing in this society. We have to tell you and let you know everything we're doing, whether it's making laws against your Second Amendment activities, your First Amendment activities, or any of your activities. We have to like publish those laws and put them out and you have an opportunity to speak against them and battle against them and do all this stuff. And yet the Americans and especially the conservatives and the conservative Christians have chosen apathy. And so you really do make a case where it's like the Bill Gateses of the world are like, look, dude, like they don't want to seem to save themselves. So who's crazy here? And I'm really like, as crazy and psychotic as the eugenicists are, I really am going, dude, stop making the case for them. Stop giving them the free pass on this. Like, actually make a case for like, leave us alone. We could run this pretty functionally. You know, it's you know, you listen to these there's nothing dumber in my thing than drill baby drill. It's like the denial of all the pre-existing technology. You know, I've been really getting busy with making these tensor rings and all this stuff. It's like, and you're crazy. And it's this weird thing. And it's like, no, dude, like all the electromagnetic technology was the answer, dude. It's all sitting in front of us in these old buildings, the Antiquitech sitting on top of the buildings. It's all right. Nikola Tesla told us everything we need to know, dude. And we're battling about like drill baby drill. Like that's the answer, dude. It's digging things out of the ground and turning them into toxic waste. Like the answer for it's like watching conservatives deregulate so they can build all these data processing centers, which are literally sucking up all the energy and having them be like, yeah, and realizing that like they've set themselves up for their own demise. Like the end of humanity isn't, I mean, or the captivity of humanity isn't the Bitcoins or the stable coins or any of that stuff. It's the data processing centers sucking up all the energy because you chose to believe in drill baby drill. Well, what are they drill baby drilling for? It's to run electrical plants for data processing centers, dude, so they can make the blockchains for your stable coins. It's like, again, it's, as I've always keep saying, it's not the blockchains, it's the hardware. It's your problem isn't the stable coins, the crypto or the currency. It's understanding how they're going to take everything via the energy generation, dude. And there you get in back to the Bill Gateses of the world, right? I don't know, man. I don't know, dude. I've turned some sort of crazy corner about it where I'm like truly like kind of eating the popcorn. Like it's gnarly though. I'm a sensitive human being. I love my son and my wife and my friends and my communities and humanity as a whole. But yeah, to watch the self-sabotage. I mean, America now is literally like, I suppose I have to apply Al-Anon to humanity as a whole. Like, I don't know if you can't get the alcoholic to stop drinking till they choose to stop drinking. And America has been told, and the Christians and the conservatives have been told in no uncertain, and the liberals too, and the wokesters have been told in no uncertain terms that they have a serious issue and there is a simple solution, and yet they think there's a kinder, softer way. There isn't, dude. Trump can't save you. The new left guy that's going to come in after Trump isn't going to save you. JD Vance isn't going to save you. None of these people can save you until you choose to save yourself. And then once you decide you'll save yourself, you realize that God already saved you. That's the rub, dude. You've already, like, once you realize it, dude. I remember this dude was once, if God knows everything and is everything, he already knows if you've chosen to be saved or not. So act accordingly. Like, stop waiting around for it. It's right here, right now. Anyway, this is The Illusion signing off. Hey, like on the AI invasion and all that stuff, tip your talker, join, become a member, man. If you made it this far in the video and you're not a member and you're not giving up a little bit of your, what is it, the interest-bearing currency to help out this, it's a team effort, man. So, but I get it. Like, I do get it. So, like, as I always say, the most important thing you can do is free yourself by freeing other people by using their name tags and identifying and addressing people by their name. I think that's the most important thing you can do. Anyway, this is The Illusion signing off.